Nebena mama juru kangwe Jajo dile papa lema Alifatro la rena ma Nisonga ni juru so Sana yasu suide namba Sama wasu suide namba Masuzu, gani bate masuzu. Aramanda koroke, Shanka koroke, Nogoma koro yini urala, Mama rufa sumara, Ejata kemanu, Masaya beni papa lema, Dodira papa marosiama, Jane kanye dabilema, Alifatro la rena ma. Soga ni jugo so Ikage tureke Aminata se kujone masake Alale no Ijone tureke Minata se kujone masake Alale no Mande morir Kuma mande morir Jana mande morir Si se mande morir manu toya bi maduana akon nebe na mama bi nebe na mama juru kangwe jajo dile papa le ma alifa trola de na ma insonga ni duru so sanara ya susui de namba samara was susui de na kote masuzu wadi bate masuzu aramanda koroke
Don't disrespect me because I get on papa. You will not disrespect because you see me the papa. Don't disrespect me because I get on papa. You will not disrespect because I will on donga. We not build but we can make it happen. We not millionaire, but we can keep it popping. We not build we can make it happen. We not millionaire, but we can keep it popping. Alcohol, 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 and the build is on me. Alcohol, alcohol.
Good evening, folks. Samson to LIBERIA Public Radio. We want to thank all of you again for tuning in to LIBERIA Public Radio. We appreciate it. It's a wonderful, wonderful thing to have you on here again. Sorry that we came on late. We had other issues that we were trying to resolve. But thank you very much for staying with us. We have some wonderful, wonderful show here tonight. We're not going to be here that long, but we have some wonderful show for you. As far as the president's speech, the analysis by Samson to on the LIBERIA Public Radio platform, which is the intellectual platform, will be discussed here on Friday. Well, I will break it down into pieces. Each one of the important part of his speech will be analyzed piece by piece by piece by piece, and it's going to be wonderful. We did it before last year, and we're going to do the same thing because there was certain thing he was mentioning in there, and we have to address those. So we can't just do it overnight. However, I'm going to go ahead and read from some of the writing, specifically Front Page Africa had an article about that. I'm going to be reading his speech, just a little bit of it. But in the meantime, let's go ahead. Samson to LIBERIA Public Radio. Let me go on and show you my usual Samson to LIBERIA Public Radio. Folks, that is the president, our president of the Republic of Liberia, Dr. George Weah. Folks, this is it. I mean, you know me. Whether people, Liberia people here or not, I watch this and I put it on. This is Dr. Weah. This is Dr. Weah, folks. President of the President of the United States. Oh, that would be sweet. That would be sweet. That way I would get a green card quick. Okay, but anyway, folks, I was on a very serious. That's Dr. Weah, President of the Republic of Liberia, who is here now visiting with the UN. Just give a speech today, and the speech is, from what I'm hearing, it's wonderful, but I have some issue with the speech, and I'm going to be addressing the issue as well. But other than that, I think we stand a good chance here. We stand a good chance, I think. The Liberian leader continue to demonstrate his ability to lead, and I really appreciate that. Let's go on. Another video. I'm going to show you another video here. During the election, when Dr. Weah and his people decided to walk all over Liberia, and this video, it doesn't matter when, I will continue to show. I've been showing this video now for more than a year now, and I will continue to show. Anytime I show open, I will open it with this video. And the reason here is this. I truly believe that when Dr. Weah, during the election, decided to put himself in the place of the suffering massive in Liberia, those that are in the interior. I'm from the interior. I'm from Town, Grand County, Republic of Liberia. But anyway, if the range Town collapsed, so he decided, let me just go, not Town specifically, but other area, which is similar to what is happening in Town area, of course. So he decided, I'm going to walk the mud. And like I keep telling you guys, that particular time, I'm sure he has a vehicle waiting somewhere. He didn't have to do this. He could have just said, you know what, the road's bad. Let's turn around. He was going to win the election anyway. You know that. Samson told. But anyway, so I'll go ahead and play this video, which for me demonstrates his ability to gravitate towards the road issue. However, the road issue is not just Monrovia, and this is my concern because I'm sure this particular area that I'm going to be showing you, I'm not too sure if that place has been fixed. And we will continue to talk about it, and we will continue to remind Dr. Weir that Liberia is not Monrovia, or Monrovia is not Liberia. You have to go and attack all of these roads in the interior side, and we'll work on these things because I'm hearing that the Ganta Tapeta roads were going to start very shortly. I'm not too pleased as an engineer. I'm not too pleased with what is some of the things that are happening when it comes to the road issue. So as an engineer, I will also look at it. I will look at it because I've not seen any design of that particular road. I've not seen any kinds of publication, let's say to speak. So we will look at it and we'll inform you. But let's play this video, folks. Samson told LIBERIA Public. Let's play this video. Dr. Weir during the election, walking in the footsteps of his brothers and sisters. Samson told.
Just make sure you do that same thing for you can hold. That will hold the stage. No, I don't need shoulder road. You must stay. What kind of junior not there before? No, I beg you.
Again, Samson told LIBERIA Public. Christopher wrote, this is not the right thing for you to put on my page yet. I've never insulted the president. Why would, even if you're not talking to me, but to come out and put kind of nonsense, that's unacceptable. Because we don't insult here. We never cuss anybody. We always talk about issues on LIBERIA Public Radio platform. So for you to come out here and say people who are you been cussing his mom? Can you name them? And you want to talk about it, go to the people who curses people mom, and you go to the people who curses insult other people. We don't do it here. So why come and put it out here now? As though you're trying to insinuate that LIBERIA Public Radio people, who's going to bow to George Weir? Do I look like somebody that will bow to anybody? Are you crazy? Please, take it out to those who curse people mom. We don't curse. We talk intellectual here. I don't bow to anybody. I respect myself and I respect other people. All my time that I've been talking about Dr. Weir, I've never one day insulted anybody. Not you, Christopher Rote. I never even insulted you to come out here and put this kinds of stuff on my platform. That's very ridiculous and it's rude. Take it out. Samson told LIBERIA Public. Let me go on. Okay. So we try to address that because it's when you read it's insinuating that we who be cussing here, we're gonna bow to nobody. Do I look at somebody that will bow to anyone? You know what I do here in the United States? Please, don't get me started. All right, let's go on, folks. Let's go on. Samson told LIBERIA Public Radio. Okay. Like I said, I'm going to be talking about the speech at the UN today, and that Dr. Weir giving the wonderful, wonderful speech today at the UN. So we will now just talk about it a little bit. But like I said, come back here Friday, and you will hear in audio and video, you will hear clearly. I will make him, he's going to say something about his speech, and then we'll have opportunity to analyze it. But let's read a little bit. And I'm not going to read the whole thing. Okay, the part that really pricked my interest is what I'm going to be reading here. Okay, I wish to assure you, speaking now, I wish to assure you of Liberia Fold, speaking about the president who's from Nigeria, blah, blah, blah. Okay, but then this is it. As I have acknowledged on many occasions, Liberia is a UN success story. He said that last year. We respect that and we say thank you. After being devastated by a brutal civil war conflict that lasted for 14 years, peace was restored and maintained by what was then the largest peacekeeping force in the history of this organization. We appreciate the UN. Honor the aspiracy of the UNML peacekeepers. Liberia enjoyed 16 years of unbroken peace. Mr. President, he says, we are pleased and grateful for the effort and sacrifice made by them, that means the UN people, then to secure our peace. When the peacekeeping forces were withdrawn 2 years ago, the responsibility for maintaining peace in Liberia was passed on to the Liberian government. True. That is the responsibility to which I attach the greater importance, because without peace, our world will be difficult. We are all aware of the terrible destruction of lives and property caused by civil war. However, long after the gun has been silent, this is the interesting part here, folks. And like I said, we will discuss that again by Friday, because I will let you hear him, and then I will analyze it, try to bring in context to whatever it is that he's been. Not that he doesn't have context, he does now, but I will add my own. That's why I say. Okay, let's go on. Let's go on. So, okay, and he goes, however, long after the gun has been silenced, the survivor, this is interesting, I'll be talking about that here. The survivor have to live with the collateral damage of the war. Wounds, the stratified family, the displaced population, the resettlement of refugees, and all the other negative consequences of a national social economic fabric that has been torn apart. Doctor, we are speaking, folks. Doctor, we are speaking, and I bet you that whole place was silent, was very silent. And let's go on. Okay. Since I assumed the leadership, speaking about himself now, he's getting ready to tell us his involvement now that he's in the leadership. Now, here's the funny thing here. When you're not up there, I keep telling you guys, when you're not up there, all you see, like Samson told, I'm only 9 feet something. Yeah, well, I hope. But anyway, I can only see as far as my eyes can go. But when you take me and put me on the shoulder of some taller guy, I will see more. And yet still, if you take me and put me over the roof of a building, I will see more, because I've got my eyes, vision going to be all over this place. So if you're not up there, you can't see much. Now that he's up there, let's listen. What is he seeing? What is he seeing? What has he seen? What exactly he's going to be talking about now that he's up there? He can see everything about Liberia. What Liberia is, what Liberia is, what we do, what we don't do, how do we eat it, everything is I can see. Let's watch that. Let's read that. Since I assumed the leadership of the country almost 2 years now, I have remained focused on my charge to ensure that peace prevail in Liberia. Okay. At that time, we committed ourselves to upholding our constitutional mandate, which is to ensure that all the democratic rights of our citizens will be guaranteed and protected. Yes, Doctor, we have. Thank you. Okay, let's go on. Let's go. It's interesting, getting interesting. I am proud, he says to the UN, I am proud to say that I have kept this promise and our country is today a beacon of democracy in Africa. Whoa, that's beautiful. Liberia, so that means that because of democracy, people are attracted to Liberia to come and be free from other oppressed country. They come to Liberia to be free, according to the president. According to the president, that's not me who's saying it. According to the president. So let's go ahead. Let's continue with it. Okay. They come to be what was that? What was that? Okay. Guarantee, blah, 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 freedom of association and other political. Okay, let me go back there. Let me read that again. In Africa, where freedom, that's just exactly what I said. Let me read that again. I am proud to say that I have kept this promise, and our country is today a beacon of democracy in Africa, where freedom of press, freedom of expression, freedom of association, and other political and democratic rights are respected under the rule of law. Dr. Weah says. So, folks, this is something very interesting, and I will go into that Friday because I'll break these things into pieces, into segments where we will address each of the segments one by one. Okay, so let's go on. The political environment remains vibrant. Yeah. Political environment remains vibrant with political actors and parties freely exercising. Somebody almost got burned in the house the other day. Then they said, we'll deal with it. I will deal with it. Samson told LeBron public. Okay. All right. Actors and parties freely exercising their franchise and participating in various elections. Mr. President, I am delighted to report that there are no political prisoners in Liberia. Whoa. Yeah. And existing laws that hinder or threaten press freedom has been decriminalized. Yes. But stay in the public and proclaim that and announce it to the world that under your leadership certain things are being done, but also certain things are not yet getting done. We will discuss that. Okay, let's move on. This is democracy for which our country has yearned. This is the freedom for which our people have struggled and sacrificed. And this is the interpretation for which many of our citizens have paid the ultimate price. They die for these things. I've been saying that for a long time. Okay. However, before we do that, let me play you this music, because there's however here that something coming. There's something behind the however here. After he finished praising himself, finished praising Liberia and things, then he say, "But your way,
Don't disrespect me.
Yes.
Because I get on papa. You will not disrespect because you see me the papa.
Okay, all right. So he goes on. He said, however, we are beginning to witness. Yes, this is the point here, that as Liberian, you then start wondering, where are we going with this? I have a serious question and concern with this statement. After he has told us and told the whole world that the peace in Liberia is there. Under his leadership, the Liberian rule has guaranteed the freedom of constitution, freedom of movement is there. But he said, however, let's read that. However, we are beginning to witness the emerging of a creeping threat to our democratic space and to our hard-won peace and stability. Some individuals within and out of our country, particularly those who have lost democratically held election, have resorted to incident threats of violence, misuse of social media, and hate speech with the aim and objective of achieving power through undemocratic means. Mr. President, what do you mean by that? What do you, is your office being threatened? Is somebody trying to come through your office through the back door, Mr. President? What exactly you talking about here, boss? When you that statement, folks, this statement says a lot. It says a lot. I thought after the president had covered the issue of peace, even if this is what is happening, by you telling the UN now, what exactly are you trying to say? Are you going to then start clamping down on people's freedom press or freedom of speech so that these things, people don't come through the power through the back door? What exactly this point? Let me read that again and listen to this. After he finished saying that under his leadership, they were able to achieve decriminalize freedom of speech, freedom of press. Under his leadership, political parties and political actors have the free will to express themselves. If somebody have a free will to express themselves, Mr. President, why would that person come up with any other antic other than the means that are being provided to them? If these people have truly, Mr. President, that they're two different things here, and you're trying to put them together, and that's what Samson told, going to dissect all of these speeches Friday. Because on one hand, Mr. President, you're telling us that under your leadership, Mr. President, which I truly believe, because you have the ability, you're a very smart person. You have the ability to make sure people who are suffering are able to achieve freedom. You've done it. During the war, Mr. President, during the height of the war, you used to leave heroes to come and make Liberians happy. Then when you leave, Liberians start killing each other. We know these stories. These stories are not something strange to anybody. You used to visit refugee camp from one place just to make Liberians happy. You have money. You didn't have to do that. It's not like you're going to Ikobo. You go there, they ain't like people coming to say, oh, mister, we are coming, let me fix some food. No. You go there and you make them happy, mingling with your people. So we know that. We know that. But let's listen to you again, sir. I'm not too sure who put this thing together, but that's Friday. Friday I will dissect it, and I think we're gonna enjoy it together. Let's listen to it again. Listen to this, folks. Okay, the president says, let me go back up. When I read this today, I said, what's going on here? Okay, the political environment remains vibrant, active, with political actors and parties freely exercising their franchise, participating in various elections. You hear that? Mr. President, I am delighted to report that there are no political prisoners in Liberia, and the existing law that hindering or threatening press freedom have been decriminalized. So the president lay everything out. Say, my people, this is what we're doing. The country is open for you to come and inspect. The country is open. We got no problem. Immediately after that, okay, and then he goes on to say, this is the, okay, let's go through it. After he did that, then he said, yeah, it's another interesting one here. Okay. Okay, let's go. He said, this is the democracy for which our country have yearned. This is the freedom for which our people have struggled and suffer. And this is the emancipation for which many of our citizens have paid the ultimate price. I think that should have been case closed. Case closed. Whatever is happening later on, we'll discuss it when we get home. But not by that. Far from it. Far from it. Let's listen in. First, this is after he finished telling us that, then he said, however, we are beginning to witness the emergence of a creeping threat to our democracy space and to our hard-won peace and stability. some individual, okay, interesting, some individual within and out of the country, particularly those who have lost democratically elected. Now let's look a little bit now. Quite recently, Sister Ure didn't win. I don't hear her trying, people not writing or seeing something on Facebook where she going around threatening this and that. If anything, her life was threatened at one time. If anything, the government has shut down her restaurant. We're still looking at that. So who else? Okay, CDC candidate for senatorial position didn't win. So what happened? I don't hear her complaining. So who's complaining? Oh, maybe the 2017 election. All right, I will look into that. This Samson told folks, I'm here dramatizing, but you get my point. Okay, so let's go on. Okay, so he's saying, folks, if you're listening, Samson told, this is his, I'm just reading his speech from Front Page Africa. Any of you can go on that, okay? So, some individual within and out, okay, blah, 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 have resulted to, okay, here's it. Have resulted to incitement, threats of violence, misuse of social media, and hate speech with the aim and objective of achieving power through undemocratic. The person who wrote this thing here, Dr. We are the person who put this particular thing, it need to be fired. Need to be fired, because you can't write these things without any proof. We the Liberian, most of Liberian, here's the thing you need to know. The Liberian today are sophisticated. You see, if you go on social media, they sleep on there. Anything happen. The fire that was happening the other day, other people have it live almost. So any little thing that happened in Monterey, all over the world. Somebody come out here and they're writing this. After giving you a beautiful, beautiful speech, then they insert this thing in here. Who are those? You're telling the UN people are doing this. Who? Abroad. Who abroad doing these things? Okay, let's go on. Okay, through undemocratic means. This is unacceptable and must not be encouraged by those who would wish Liberia well. For democracy to thrive, all Liberians, including both the ruling party and the opposition party, must respect the rules of law and abide by the procedures and regulations prescribed by themselves. So quite recently, Mr. President, if you're going to do this, then you come out and give an example. You already throw CDC on the bus. That's quite well here, because we know. But you're the boss. You're the boss of CDC, and you have the right to be truthful, and you're being truthful. But go further than that. Madam Ure car was damaged, and people are making a big hill out of it. Address that. If you're going to bring that in, address that. Then who among us that have lost an election and decided to foment violence in our country? You have a protest, June 7 protest, millions of all, if I may say so, turn out. And not one person under your leadership, Mr. President, you allow the president to insert this thing in here, to insert something that is not truthful and that going to bring division, to put it in here. Because perhaps they want to see, they're still looking for enemy. You're in the UN, and they still want to find enemy for you. And then they're going to put it in there. The person who wrote this here needs to be suspended or fired, to be honest with you. Because this person have taken what was supposed to be your glory among Liberians. Because just think about it. You decriminalize press freedom. One of the best things you ever done for Liberians. Under your leadership, no political prisoner in Liberia. With all the big mouth sounding they're making, you throw nobody in jail. In fact, not throwing people in jail. You don't want people to dump. Yes, the other thing, why then you say that? when you're putting the others role, somebody build a house in the right of way. You don't want those houses to be demolished. That's how caring you are. But look at the kind of thing the person put in here. Okay, let's go ahead. Okay. For democracy, including the ruling party. Okay, you said ruling party. Okay. As the leading opposition party. Now, here we go. These things can be proven, whether they are truth or not. Because Liberians are sophisticated. They can go and dig up history. A lot of things, pictures were taken. Let's look at this. As a leading opposition party in Liberia during the past 12 years, our party, the Congress for Democratic Change, accepted the disputed result. Oh. The last time I remember, there was some challenging. Was it not? Okay, we accept it. Okay. Result of 2 previous elections. In 2005, which I truly believe you won. 2011, I truly believe your party won. You didn't challenge, that's fine, but my understanding, there was a court proceeding that happened. Okay, but we're not going to go in the interest of peace. Yes. Nevertheless, through these 2 terms, we continue to engage the government. Yeah, we carry a casket. We carry a casket in the middle of the street. Demonstration, people died. Somebody got shot at CDC compound. But yet the president is telling us this. Folks, this is Samson told like I told you guys before. If I see something, I will praise this president. Because he was elected by the Liberian people. Who am I to say something? Liberian people elect somebody, so I don't like that person? It has nothing to do with me. This is the will of the people. They have elected Dr. Weah. I must respect him. I must accept him as my president. There's nothing, no two-way street about it. However, when I open this mic and have my camera looking at you, I want to be truthful. If I see something that I feel, I say I didn't say you. I feel that it's not in place, I will say so. Despite me, people calling me, my nickname around here is Dr. Weah, so that's fine. I don't mind that. But I will be truthful. Okay. So here, people were carrying casket those days. But no, there's nothing mentioned here. He said, nevertheless, through these terms, 2 terms, we continue to engage the government of the day in a constructive manner. Why can't we ask Madam Sally about that? Even accepting to serve as peace, yes, you did. Accepting to serve as peace ambassador when called upon to assist them to maintain the peace under their regime. Okay, so I'm not going to read everything. I will just leave that for you guys. And my show here tonight again is I want you to see something here. In this particular article, the most important thing I believe that was stated by Dr. Weah is the war crime issues. And let me go straight to that and see how and see how that was addressed. Okay. Okay. Let's go to that. But anyway, I'm going to go into it. Okay. How was that addressed by Dr. Weah at the UN? The people who were able to help us maintain the peace. How was it addressed? Okay. Samson told Lebron Pobrito. In the meantime, let me entertain you a little bit. Let's go ahead.
Don't disrespect me because I get on papa. You will not disrespect because you see me the papa. Don't disrespect me because I get on papa. You will not disrespect because I will on donga. We not broken, but we can make it happen. We not millionaire, but we can keep it popping. We not broken, we can make it happen. We not millionaire, but we can keep it popping. I go, bartender.
Okay. Yeah, I just saw one other thing. I'll just read a little bit of it, but I would address that come Friday. And these are some of the things that I keep talking about the president and his willingness to be truthful, to be honest with you. And people can disagree with me on that. Okay, but I'll just read it here. It is Equate's center to, however, at this junction, we are beginning to face significant implementation challenges due to the continuing decline in prices of our major export. I'll just leave it as that, okay? But the main thing I want to jump on now is the issue of the war crime, okay? He said the Liberian civil conflict came to an end, and when the parties and warring factions signed a peace comprehensive peace agreement in Accra, Ghana, in 2003. They call for the establishment of TRC to provide a forum that will address issue of important impunity. That is important. Yeah, well, okay, impunity, as well as the opportunity for both the victim and the perpetrator of human rights violator to share their experience in order to facilitate genuine healing and conciliation. Okay? So let's go on. He said the TRC was duly established. Okay, at least the president is embracing the concept of TRC. Okay, so let's go on. What duly established concluded its hearing and procedures for final report in 2009. Among other things, the report called for the establishment of an extraordinary criminal tribunal to prosecute those identified as having committed gross violation of human rights and economic crime between 1970. Now they're specific now. They're not going back to Saitan War. I thought they were going to go back to Saitan War because myself I was in Saitan those days. Back in 1920 something, I was in Saitan. I thought they were going to call me for Saitan with it. No, folks, I'm just playing. But on a very serious note, they're being specific from 1979. Okay, where is it? 1979 to 2003. It is important to note that a TRC report also recommended the use of conflict resolution mechanism that has been traditionally used in Liberia, called the Palava Hut. That issue of the Palava Hut issue, and I was on here about 2 or 3 weeks ago, folks. I started this, and the question that I asked was, are we ready as Liberians? Are we ready to have this honest discussion? And last week again, early this week, there was another show on this criminal trial business or court business. And the question I keep asking is, are we ready? And without me going deep into his stuff, which I'm going to dissect on Friday, let's turn inward a little bit. Let's take the president out of it and bring ourselves into it as Liberian. Are we ready? Because few days ago, and then once again, I'm not going to call name, but there was a gentleman, a young guy, I believe, posted about another permanent citizen of a county who according to him, has committed heinous crimes against human beings, kills people for some reason. And he called him rebel. And immediately, the tribesmen of this particular person being accused jump on this poster to say, how dare you? How dare you call this man rebel? How dare you call this man criminal? He killed people, but he was doing it in the defense so that you will live. That was it. And the argument went back and forth for a while. And I was reading it. I didn't make no comment. I was just reading it, taking it in. And a few other people came up and said, how dare you? Trying to say this man that have killed many Liberians, and now you're going to claim me as your hero because you think he was defending you. What's about the lives of the Liberian that he taken away? What happened? What do you do then? And then the other people came back. In fact, one of them asked a question. What is a war with no death Any war you have, people got to die. And then the other group came back. Say, yes, but to attack an innocent and civilian, then you become, then your attitude now becomes reckless, and your attitude becomes war crime issues. Then the same group came back, said, fine, we accept it. But however, that particular incident or whatever it is that's happening was being done in the defense of our people. And then I came back, and that day I had my show, and the question I asked was, are we prepared? Who do we send out there to be on the gavel? Your a victim, the victim themselves, all over the country. There is now one country, or not even a village in Liberia that was never affected by this war. Who do we pick out to be a defender? People say, well, then those are the people that are highly responsible, people who did some bad things. Fine. How? Okay. So what would be the procedure? And according to the president here, he laid out, he said he's going to consult the justice system. So those are the people that are going to come up with the blueprint. How this thing is going to be taking place. Are we ready? Are we ready? Can we truly have a genuine conversation without causing each other mind? Because I want to think like people they're going to do nowadays. Before you say something, well, boop, your mind they're feeling with you right away. So the question is, how do we attack this? How do we approach it? Because it's coming. Go up and count down. The war crime code will come to Liberia. The question that I asked the other day, and I'm going to ask it again. You bring these people on, those who you consider to be people responsible for heinous crimes in Liberia, that for which they should stand trial. First of all, what is the trial? What procedure is there going to be jury trial? I don't know. Okay, so but you pick these people up, and they're coming out to testify and what have you. Now you have to produce evidence against them. What are the processes of collecting the evidence? Who's doing the collection? Who's collecting the evidence? Are you going to say that the village where the massacre occurred, those in the village should come and testify? Okay, that's good. But then the question to you is this. These people have lived their life throughout with this trauma. Some of them with the ability God have given them. Because I don't see any kind of medical facility big in Liberia that are responsible to deal with people who have experienced these traumas, and I don't see it. So God have helped us that many Liberian, it's in them, but they're able to somehow cover it up. Now you're going to ask them to come out and testify. Do you have a facility and the people in a facility waiting after this person have been re-traumatized, that he's then going to be called or she's then going to be called to these professions to deal with it? Do we have that? Do we have the money? And even if the UN is going to provide the money, what happened? Is the government going to borrow money from there to feed people or borrow money from there to do this? What is the process? How do we go about this whole issue? So once again, my suggestion, and this is what I'm good at suggesting. My suggestion is that the government of the Republic of Liberia should be ahead of this thing. Instead of these people writing the kind of thing for them to look for enemy of the state, on an international stage, looking for enemy of the state without naming people, without any evidence whatsoever they have. They're going to make the president of the Republic of Liberia, father of the nation, to say among my children, there are some other children that want to do bad thing here. Without any showing anything to other children to say, oh, yeah, your brother and your sister, the ALC, what they're doing? Nothing. We're just going to assume the president say, among my children, there are some people that want to do bad things. Who are those? So that some of us try to distance ourselves from them, because I don't want to associate myself with somebody who wants to come through the president, through the back door. I don't want to associate myself with that. So who are those people so we can distance ourselves? The president was not able to do that for us. But that's not the point right now. I will get to that this Friday. So now, what are the procedures? What are the processes involved in order for us to engage this? The president goes on here, if you will, and I'll deal with that Friday as well. The president goes on here and say, let me. When I spoke before, let me go through that here. I need to read it. And then after that, I will open the mic. However, since that time, there has been a raising chorus of voices from many quarters calling for the establishment of economic and war crime court. These voices include not only thousands of war victims, but also some of the alleged perpetrators who seem to wish to enter, either clear their name or the consequence. Fine. How do they clear their name? What process they're going to go through? Okay, let's go a little bit further than that. Then I'll open the line, folks. Let's just go further than that. So you say you're going to go a jury trial. I'm not too sure what form they're going to take. I'm just speculating, and I'm allowed to do that. So please spare me. Anyway, let's just say jury trial. The perpetrator themselves going to have lawyer, because Liberia is a rule of law. You can't just come out and say, okay, that's a good time. You put a collar in the fire there. Can't I raid your rubber on the man for, or your rubber when you burn, then you get guilty. That's not what happened here. You can't take the sasugu and put it in your eye, and after maybe 2-3 hours and your eye red, then you guilty. Ain't happening here. No sasugu on this one. This is liquor practices. Everything intellectually engaged. You can't bring sasugu business from total here. It's not happening. So the person have a lawyer. And the lawyer, they themselves going to try to find maneuvers. I mean, you know the law business. I'm not a lawyer, but you know the law business. It's messy. They're going to do everything in their power to defend their clients. That's their job. Are we prepared to have a case prolonged over and over and over until I don't know when? Are we prepared for that? These people that are going to be accused, where do they stay? Are you going to put them in jail while you're waiting? Or you going to have bond? What procedures the people going to have? Even what kind of bond you're going to have? Criminal bond? What kinds of bonding process you're going to have? This is deeper. It's going to happen. But if we don't prepare ourselves, we're going to do more harm to the victims and to ourselves. You know Liberian. Don't come fool yourself. You know us. That man working here, something told been working here. They're small little job. Look at him, he got money. Where you got money from? Man, something told kill people. He used to be with Chatilla. That Chatilla buddy. He killed people. He killed some 11 prayer before he got the money. They will come here. This is how we are. I'm not saying something that is far-fetched. This is how we behave. Oh, that man passing that rebel. No proof. Those days during the war, didn't they say they used to live for your pants? And when they see some kind of mark around your ankle, that means you're a former soldier, because the soldier people used to put, how do you call it, rubber in their pants to hold them. So when they see that, they say the boots were on you. Okay? People die for those kinds of stuff. Okay? So are we prepared to deal with it? Are we prepared to deal with it? So those are the kinds of questions we need to engage each other. Is this thing coming? Go up and come. Will I be on a doctor? We are watch, but it's going to come. And if it comes, if somebody goes through the process that you know, okay, your mind part, but because of some kind of legal wrangling or legal technicality, whatever it is, they decided the person is not guilty because of technical issue. Are we prepared to accept those type of decision? Or we're just going to open the old wound and then say, no dressing. You gotta leave it like that. Let me go ahead and open the line. Samson to LIBERIA Public Radio. This coming Friday, I will address two issues. And they're all in the president's speech. And I will address those things one by one. And then we can also have a conversation about that. But for now, let's go ahead and have a conversation. Samson to LIBERIA Public Radio. Give me a call here. Oops, that's not it. Give me a call and see. Let me pull it up first, folks. Don't call me here until I pull it up because you don't know my number. And before I put this number up, something interesting happened to me today, and I just like to say this, and I'm sure many Liberians most likely have had a kind of experience. So when I was in Liberia back in the 70s, growing up, young man at the time, living on Camp Johnson Road, and you know, in those days when you live in a house, you're not, all you do is just rent one room. Everybody else renting one room. You rent a whole house. Where I get money from account? I was making $100 a month. Where I get money from account? Rent a whole house. And the rent for that place at that time was $35 a month. So you know it was a decent place. But on the inside there was another family member, and the lady, she had two kids, one older a girl and then a younger brother. But she passed. She came to the United States back in mid 80, and she passed. And the two kids are here now. So one of them, we know each other well. So one of them watching my show, and she decided, well, I'll keep this number. Let me call him. So she called me on my way from work this afternoon. She called and said, Samson To. Say, yeah. Oh, thank you for your show. It's a wonderful show. Very exciting. Very, very educational. I said, oh, okay. Thank you. Thank you. Then she called her name. But I couldn't recognize. I didn't recognize the name. And I didn't know what name was it. So she called her name, her real name that I know. And I started yelling. Because all of these years, and I'm sure I'm not the only person, those of us that used to live in that house, you're always wondering, what happened to this person? Is this person still alive? If this person is still alive. But she was able to tell me that her son is still alive, the son's father still alive, her brother still alive, the auntie still alive. Okay, so now I'm happy within me that people that I know are still alive after the war. So I just thought that I'd share that. By the way, let me go ahead and open the lines up. Like I said, I'm not going to be here that long because I came on very late, so I will be leaving here very shortly. Samson To LIBERIA Public Radio. Give me a call. Let me take this background off. Let's go with Dr. Weir background. Yeah, why not? Give me a call. Samson To LIBERIA Public Radio. That's the number there, 916-533-2048. And let me make sure it's connected here. Oops. Okay, yeah, that one is off. Okay. So give me a call. And let me hear what do you have to say. What do you think? Okay, it's connected. Yeah, it's connected. All right. By the way, give me a call but in the meantime, let me continue with this. Okay, let's go on with the war crime part of this speech. When I spoke before you last September, he said, after, let me cut this stuff out so somebody called. Okay. After my first time, 9 months in office, I indicated a preference for dialogue as a conflict resolution mechanism so that as a government and people, we could gather, focus on efforts on poverty reduction. Okay, so Dr. Weir is saying, instead of me wasting money, he didn't say, I'm just paraphrasing, instead of me wasting money, getting a lawyer here and that, we can just focus ourselves as Liberians and have this thing addressed the way we address things back in days. Okay. However, since then, okay, the people calling, okay, the voices include blah, blah, blah. Support for the establishment of war code has now been voiced by many international organizations as well as some of our international partners. Mr. President, we are at loss to understand why the claiming of the establishment of war code now being made, almost a full decade after it was first called for, and during which time no such pressure was brought bear on the government that grew out of the Accra Peace Accord, Mr. President. There's no reason. You can't. People who are writing these things for our president and they're not doing a good job. What kind of reasoning is that? That's so elementary. This reasoning is so elementary. I ate yesterday, and because my stomach ran after I ate a kesali yesterday, my stomach ran 2 weeks from now. I will not eat kesali before my stomach ran. What kind of reasoning is that? The government that came to power through their core, because the people in pressure, how you think you got in power too? It's the same core. Because it's the core that established the rule for people to be peaceful. Samson told LeBron Public Radio, what's your name? Where you're calling from? What's on your mind?
I'm Isaac Wayan. I'm calling from Baltimore, Maryland.
Thank you, Mr. Wayan. Thank you very much. Go ahead. What's on your mind?
Yes, I'm concerned about your point you made on the economic and war crime code.
Go ahead. Express it, sir.
Okay. We all went through the war. We suffer every damage of the war. And likewise, other countries around, like in West Africa, many are saying, especially from the president, when he said that he wants to take the route of a dialogue, whether it's traditional or the cultural way of doing things in Liberia. That is, when your person from the other town walk to your village, chop over your wife and your children. Then I say, you know what? We are family. Let us remain in the village here and settle it. There's nothing to take to the government. If that is the approach. But now that we are in the civilized world, you cannot look at crime, heinous crime that affected a huge number of people, that nation, and you say, you know what? Let's sweep it under the rug. If it happens that way, I don't think Liberia will have a brighter future. Let me refer to Nigeria when the Biafran war was being fought. They did not just sweep it under the rug. They took some legal stand as well as a traditional approach. The traditional approach today made Nigeria to be divided. But people live without pains. They anchor. So the only way Liberia can move forward is to bring those people to justice. Else, you and our children will see that as a point of, I call it, a way of life. That is, you can hide anybody. You will look at Liberia as a lawless country, and it is today. Because I visited Liberia twice. I was there last year, June, and I was there just recently, July. You go to Monrovia tonight, somebody take collars and chop you up. There is nothing to be said about that. The person go free. So to get our country straight is to bring every perpetrator to justice. Is to make sure that those that committed hideous crime leave government offices. If it happens that way, countries that used to respect Liberia, countries that used to go to Liberia aid, will be happy to go to Liberia aid, to give helping hand to Liberia.
I understand. I understand. Let me engage you a little bit on this, young brother. But first of all, I want to thank you very much for expressing your view, and we do appreciate that. And I hope people will call in and do the same. But let me ask you a little bit on this here. You made a few statements here already. That one of them you said, I believe, that in order for us to be respected, those who committed the crime must face justice. I agree. But the question that I have for you, what are the procedures? Who's going to set those procedures up? Are we going to have a procedure set up just like the TRC come up with recommendation on how to deal with this, or those type of procedures are already in the TRC?
Well, I'm not even looking at the TRC, because when I followed them in between there, like when they were questioning Charles Drew and other people who were from the Samuel Doe rank, they were buyouts. So they put TRC aside. Who formulated the TRC? Was it the 16 trial that came together and selected delegates, or are they called members, recruited members, and they formulated the TRC? No. It was from the Ellen Johnson service, the Charles Taylor, and what have you. So I'm not even looking at the TRC in Liberia.
Okay.
what Joy we can do as a president. There is rule and law in Liberia. Even prior to he being born in Liberia, say when you kill, we'll put you in jail or we'll also kill you or you send you to better yara. And those rules are in order. And that's why Liberians used to respect each other. But when that president came to power, they broke all of those things. So we can go back to the Liberian legal system. When you kill, they bring you to justice. When you steal, they bring you to justice. When you rape, they bring you to justice.
Okay.
So
let me ask one other question, and then I'll let you make your final statement on that. And the question then is, as we already seen, those who that you're calling for justice on, and I'm also in favor of that. I'm just talking about it so that people will have an idea of what exactly we're going to be facing. The question that I want to ask you on this is, you already, just from your statement, you already discarded the TRC because of the way they were formed, the process that brought TRC together. You don't. It seems like you don't even trust that. Let alone.
No, not at all.
Okay, so by you not trusting this TRC because they were formed like that, how do you put this group that's supposed to judge other Liberians, how do you put it together? How do you put this procedure together? Do you go through all 15 counties, 16, total are counted too anyway, 15 counties, and say, okay, we're going to do this and we're going to bring them together for them to formulate these procedure? How do you go about that, sir?
Yeah, that's a right route to take. Go to work, the president go to work, recruit members of, can I say, how do you call it, an investigative team comprised of all of these 16 tribes, go to the 16 counties and select out of the chiefs or what have you, bring them together. Those are neutral people. Those are people who understand our cultural practices.
My brother, let me push you on that one, because when you're talking about neutrality, it doesn't exist when it comes to this war. Every one of us that are alive and of age have been part of this war. Either way, we've been affected. So for you to find a neutral person, I truly believe you will not be able to find a neutral. Every one of us come into this thing here with baggage, and that's the point that I'm making. That's the question that I'm raising. Okay. Who among us that would say, okay, I'm going to put all my biases aside and be able to judge the people based strictly on the rule of law?
Not every Liberian, at the time the war was being fought, they were part of the war. It was so that even went on the offense, because why? The war came against them. So you cannot say that these people were part of the crisis. They fought. I mean, not fight, but they were only wrong. And as you are speaking to me tonight, Mr. To, if I leave from Baltimore and I come to Rhode Island and I attack your home, will the people consider you a criminal, or will they consider me a criminal?
You definitely attack me, but then the law is not going to ask me to come and judge you.
Yeah, this is it. If they have evidence that these people are not trusted, they won't be recruited. But they are trusted Liberians who were transparent, who did not take part in the war, who were against the war.
Okay.
From the beginning of the war, so there are people there that are trusted.
I believe it. We can find. I know Liberians.
Right. How can a woman be raped? Girls are being raped personally, and the law is not acting on those things to set a precedent.
But
we come together now.
Okay. All right, my brother. I mean, thanks for expressing your view on Liberian problem. We really appreciate it. I would really love for people to call and express themselves. Whether you agree with me or not, come out here and say so. Because this is the point here that I'm trying to do. The reason of me doing these kinds of things is so that we will be able to have a conversation about these. But don't you agree with me that we need to have a conversation?
I do agree with you. Myself, I go to work and I have the West African Health Forum that talks about the health problems around West Africa and specifically Liberia. So these things are warranted among us to educate people, to make them to be more abreast and be more informed, so that you will be able to address issues within your range. You understand me? So you are doing well. But for us to succeed and for us to be respected as a member of the civil life community, there must be an economic and war crime court in our country. People should be penalized for the evil they did. Look, I mean, just look at the economy. I don't know when last you were in Liberia.
Last year.
I was out of there 3 months ago. Okay, I was there just July.
Yeah.
You understand me? And the very president that when he came to power, he said, you know what, I will protect Ellen. Joy Ware is not a problem. Ellen Johnson said it is a problem. She needs to be brought to court. But he didn't say you protect a woman.
Okay.
Those are some of the problems out there. And the very Ellen Johnson said in one more meeting, she introduced the philosophy of Thomas Malthus. Thomas Malthus used to be the chief economist during the 16th century in Great Britain. At that time, the population in Europe was on the increase. So the elites at that time wanted people to bring up ideas how to cut down the population. And he said, you know what happened? Let us introduce diseases of war. So in the eyes of diseases of war, people will die. Those who cannot feed themselves, overbody men are in the street advocating for this, that, they'll be more weaker, and they'll not get in the street to even advocate or agitate. And that's why she applied in Liberia. You know what? That wage war. That's why she said level Monrovia will rebuild. And when she came to power, every penny that the international community sent to that country, she put it into her coffers. And today you see Liberian, women walking literally in the street, almost barefooted. Your population is 6.5 million. That put it at 6.7 million, and it gives you about $100 million. So it means each Liberia divides 6.5 by 100 million by 6.7 million. You're talking about almost each Liberia should be entitled to about $5 million. So our lives should have been more brighter than people living in Brussels and California. Now you the president, you came about and say you protecting her. Protecting on what? On what ground? What is your interest for the people that love you? So you want to tell me the people love you dearly and you turn your back on them. So those people, you have to go to work.
Okay.
He has the power. He can veto certain things that can improve lives, like Fidel Castro did in Cuba.
Okay.
I can do that.
All right. Okay, my brother. Thank you very much. The president can speak for himself, and I'm sure one of these days he will have the opportunity to speak for himself. And definitely, we will listen once he comes out. Again, folks, this is Samson. Thank you, my brother. We appreciate your call.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Toro.
Yeah.
Good night.
Good night, bud. Again, my number here, 916-533-2048. It's right there on the screen. Okay, so let me go on. Let me go on to read. Okay, but the point that I was making is this. When the president, what I want to believe, I think the president read this thing here, but I don't believe that he wrote those things himself, because most of the time presidents don't write their own speeches anyway. But I'm not too sure if these are things that he himself believed in. Or maybe they have those kinds of discussion in the quarter, and so as a result, the people who write in there decide to put it in there. Okay, for you to come. However, since that time, there has been rising call of violence, blah, blah, blah. Then he said, Mr. President. Okay, he said, Mr. President. Mr. President, we are at loss to understand why the claimant of the establishment of the court is now being made almost a full decade after it was first called for, and during which time no such pressure was brought to bear on the government that grew out of the Accra Peace Accord. So what does that mean? Because Ellen government was not pressure, therefore it's a citizen. So you yourself, you also told us. You see, that's what I'm saying. The people who wrote the thing, for some reason, they're not serving this president correctly. They're supposed to say, Mr. President, read the thing to us. And don't read it to the person who wrote it. Read it to somebody else and let you guys have a discussion. Because you just told us that those people that are calling for the war crime court are Liberians themselves. And now you're saying that people putting pressure on you. That question should go to the Liberian. Why is it that you guys are putting pressure on me and then put pressure on her? But now you're questioning the international community, because some of them are calling to you. So those are the kinds of stuff that I'm talking about. Okay, so folks, Liberians nowadays are very sophisticated. When you are addressing these things in the international public forum or whatever it is, be careful, because these young people, they know plenty book. These young Liberians, they know plenty book. They will tear apart. Okay, I'm just telling you. But anyway, let me read on. Nevertheless, our government is listening, administration, and we have been paying keen attention to the voices of our people. Okay, after you continue. What I have discerned from their cries is that it is important to bring closure to the wound from the 14 years of Liberian brutal civil war, and that we need to engage on a mechanism that will be guaranteed, that will guarantee the sustenance of peace, stability, justice, and reconciliation, as well as enhance our prospect for economic recovery. So what the president has done, in my mind, is that he has turned the whole thing wrapped around economic issue in Liberia. Once again, the president must be able to understand, the sophistication level of young Liberians. And the president must also be able to understand the population of his country that he's leading. Majority of them are younger than he is. Okay? 35, 40 the most. Young people. So most of them do a lot of reading. You can't pour wolf over their eyes. Be truthful, and you have done that. But I will expect the president to come out and make, because this thing is all over this place, all over the map. One minute you say the people are doing that, another minute why are you doing that? So again, once again, these are things that we need to understand. Okay, we have to understand why is it that Liberians are all over asking for war crime court and economic and war crime court. There's reason. A gentleman just spoke here a few minutes ago and said he believed the only way that we will be respected as Liberians is by having this court system. And what I'm asking the government, and this is the same thing I said the last time about the protest, and I'm saying it again, the government must stay ahead. Don't chase it. You be ahead of this thing. It's coming. It's nothing you're going to do. You start tying it around the economic system. Why if the international community start tying it around loan and grant and whatever they're going to be giving you? Then what are you going to say? Is that when you're going to start crying for Liberian sovereignty? Again, folks, number here, 916-533-2048. 916. The number is on there. I don't know why people are not seeing it. Let me put the number up here. 916-533-2048. Mr. So, if you're listening and you have the ability, please pin my number up there, because I put the number here, but people are not seeing it. Okay. So let me go on. So that's the point that I'm making. The people who are involved with this president, instead of finding enemy of the state, get the president to understand that these young Liberians, you can't just throw anything out there. They will not accept it. They want factual stuff, something that makes sense. And you will not blame them, because they have educated themselves. Some of the young Liberians, some of them 2, 3 masters, some PhD. And you think you're going to come from Total and say throw it out there and the person take it? They will not do it, because they're educated and they're sophisticated. They know what you're talking about. So the only way that perhaps you will bring them on board with you is try to be truthful with them and give them the truth. Whether it hurts or not, tell them, just like you did here with the economic situation that Liberia is facing. That's true. Now it left with the Liberians themselves to say, okay, the president have just told us the truth. Let's find other means. How do we resolve this? But with people who are putting you in a bubble, once again, Samson told Liberian Public Radio, people who are putting you in a bubble, they will not let you see the outside of that bubble. So what do? They create enemy of the state, just like they wrote in your speech here. One minute they told you, say, oh, Mr. President, just tell the UN that Liberians are doing well and honor your leadership. You have established peace and stability in our country. And honor your leadership. People are free to speak their mind. Then on the other hand, they say, however, Mr. President said, they say, however, there are certain people that didn't win election. Now they want to start trouble. Do you think these people, you think these people are stupid? You're telling them, say, people got free will to express themselves. Why are they not being able to utilize that free will that you have established for people to express themselves? Either do you think they will be prone to going through the violent route? So are they afraid to express themselves if they have been cheated or whatever? Instead, they will try to do some clandestine stuff to try to come to power. And this is the thing you want people to read and say, yes. No, but they will not accept it. They will challenge it. Because it's a big hole. And this is what I'm saying. People who are around you, they know who you are. They know who you are. But they're not having, and this is what I keep saying. They should let you be yourself for once. You're the most popular, forget being president. You're the most popular person in Liberia. There's no question asked. You know who the next popular person in Liberia? Henry Costa. So let them allow you to utilize that popularity with the Liberian people. You go and find out what's going on. They will tell you, the Liberian people will tell you. They're not going to hide it from you. But here you are, you come on an international stage, Mr. President. One minute you're telling the international community, oh, I honor my leader. You see what happening? One minute you pray, they wrote this thing. One minute they allow you to praise yourself, to put yourself above everything else. And then another minute they say, oh, okay, just stay up there. But we find the enemy of the state for you. There are certain people within our community. You are father of the nation. And the people are saying there are people who dare to. Samson told Liberian Public Radio, what's your name? Where you're calling from? What's on your mind?
Yeah, Mr. Toho, good evening. This is Marie Pade. I'm calling from Pennsylvania.
Thank you, man. We appreciate it. Thank you very much. What's on your mind, man?
Yeah, just what you said, Mr. Toho. The people that are around here, they are not doing him no good. They are not doing this man no good. I don't know what the advisors are or who they are, but they are not doing no good. I heard two sides of the story today. When the man was at the United Nations, the speech he gave, I listened to that, and when he was to a teleconference, that man was natural. Mm-hmm. That man made the people to understand the sedition the diaspora sedition. He make it clear. He said that because they are behind him like when the sedition, he should hire sedition or fire the other people, the opposition, and this and that. That man stood up there and told them, he said he was not about that. He expressed himself, and that's how if he had taken that road today, we would not be where we are today. Mm-hmm. But these people are not doing good with our president. They just wrote all kinds of mess and go to that man to carry over there to confuse everybody. Mm-hmm. Because if you telling the people, they went over there for global discussion, they may bring out different people. That's what they wrote and give it to him.
Yes.
And they are just taking advantage over this man. I'm telling you, you don't do that.
Yeah, I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed as well. Mm-hmm.
I told them because once they leave Now, if they cannot get the money from the government, then they complain. They say all the people that went the CDC work, and the people work for the party, they did it for the party. If the other different parties people are willing to take that money, let them hire them. The president should have told them. The man, I mean, the what I mean to feel so good it was that he said that he wished other people had been there beside the physician. He said, I wish the other people have come here to listen to what I have to say. He's president for everybody when the physician are taking it. It's not on. They make people feel like, so now you're not part of CDC, you're not part of Liberia. Where are we going? Some of our people to talk to here to carry businesses over there, but we cannot do it. Because they put so much stress in people. This is our time. This is our own. This is our day. And what are they doing over there, Mr. Toh? You go there over there, we can't try to put a contract together, that's what I'm saying. But they just put it too much in their head.
I agree. Okay.
Too much on this, man.
Yes.
They don't want to bring it. They don't want got a country looking like this. The citizens are the one that got this country looking, our country looking like this. Because you bring up good ideas, we're going to say, oh, there's another other people are telling them. What do you mean by other people? We are all the same. Some of us are here where we do charities every day in Liberia. They're just taking it because they just want them to, they want certain people to be in power to underestimate everybody or to use everybody. They need to start taking advantage of our president. Why were you there? How can I see it for they score everything? Contrary to what they had to say today. What they're talking about the United Nations. We got other things going on in the country, but people they just lie to the man. And then I got too much things to think about.
Okay.
But I was so happy after when I saw him, he was giving that speech. I was very delightful. I mean, that's how a leader supposed to talk. And he made that to they say, oh, some of the new people left from here, they went there, they couldn't get a job, this and that. They expected $20,000 they can get out when they're in America. Why you going to all that? Because you can't go volunteer.
Right.
Why you can't go all your people?
Okay.
Mr. So look at Vata. So they got so much money or they got so much senses. Why can't go drink that place to drink all the way to OAU?
I know.
That
I agree, my sister. Yeah, we just need to calm down, because yeah. Thank you. Thank you, madam. We appreciate it. Okay, thank you very much, man. Okay. Samson Tola, Brown Public Radio, what's your name and where you're calling from? What's on your mind?
Mr. Tola, how are you doing? This is Amos George calling from Atlanta, Georgia.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. George, for calling. We appreciate it. What's on your mind, sir?
I just caught the program in the middle, so I don't know what's your topic.
I've been on here for over 1 hour. Well, we're all over the place. We're all over the place. As usual, I'm talking about the war crime quote and the speech that was given by the president. How, in my opinion, I thought those who wrote this speech perhaps didn't quite got the Dr. Weah on board, except to say read it and maybe I'm sure he must have read it over and over, but again, you have to be honest. Because I was going through some of the stuff here. But go ahead, and if you want to wait until because I'm going to reiterate some of the points. So if you want to wait, that's fine.
Yeah, I got it. Today I was on my platform and I asked a question. All the theme of the UN 74 section. I think there was a topic which is global warming. I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
And I did not hear anything mentioned by the president of global warming and like the effects of global warming in like around the world.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you know, someone will know like the season had changed. This year I called somebody and they were telling me how in some rural area had the water, the rain was so much area that the water now used to go there. They saw the river, overflowing the ban, all that kind of thing. And I think that was the major thing, the theme of the UN this assembly. And I didn't hear anything. Maybe I might have missed it, but I didn't hear anything. And today you can see in Monrovia when it rains, flood all over the place. I know that we're going Monrovia, we know you to experience these things, but human nature is also playing. Human nature is playing a major part. Yeah. And I didn't see yet the president speaking about what role the government of Liberia is playing. Talk about deforestation, all kind of things.
Right.
They are all contributing towards.
Let me just I understand, and I think the point you made here, let me just address it very quickly. But thank you very much for your point. I think it is well in place, but I was just giving an example of what is happening with Dr. Weah and his people, and what some other leaders in the past do things. So thank you very much. Let me just go ahead and give this example. But thank you, my brother. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Yeah.
All right, folks, this is Samson To. I have in my hand, and there's a little piece of paper, a booklet, and it said 10th annual message delivered by Dr. William R. Tubbs Jr., President of the Republic of Liberia, to this third section of the 47th legislature, January 23rd, 1974. Then you say, but Mr. To, why you bring out that? I'm not even born. But the point that I want to make here is this. If you go through this whole thing, all of the functioning unit honor the administration of Dr. Tubbs, honor the executive. They were all asked to contribute. And not everything that they're going to come from this department going to all be in there. But then the president can dissect and can pick which one he wants to put in the speech. And even when he's coming to the UN, the same process. What exactly, have his people together. Say, what exactly am I going to be speaking about? You can't have one person in a corner of the building writing your speech and you think that's it. As a result, you have these kinds of stuff. You have something like this. Well, one minute you say something, everybody gravitating towards it, out of it, and say, where the other one come from? Because one individual, perhaps you remember at one time when you were angry at somebody and made a statement, oh, okay, the president, okay, I'll put that in the speech. Here's an example right here. Okay? We are also at loss to understand why the claiming of the establishment of the court is now being made almost a full decade after it was called for, and during which time no such pressure was brought to bear on the government that grew out of the accord. So what part of it, that are you not still part of the accord that brought you to power as well? Because the accord was established to have peace, and it's a peace that you're enjoying. Why would this person put this thing in there? And let me go on. So here's after the president saying that, they're telling the international, why are you putting pressure on? You don't put pressure on her. Listen to this. Considering the importance of this matter, I have, okay, no, I'm not going to. He said, nevertheless, our government is listening, administration, and we have been paying keen attention to the voices of our people. Now, you say international community, why don't you put pressure on a woman? Then you say our people. Where is the connection? Where is the connection? Maybe I'm missing something, but of course I'm not educated, so I can miss that one. Okay, so what I have discerned from their cry is that it is important to bring closure. If you're going to say that, then why blame people? If you think the people are saying they want something for closure, if you're going to say that, then why even ask question why you're pressuring me now? If you know very well the pressure, even if the people are pressuring you, but the end result they want is to bring closure. Is it not a nice thing? If I was the one writing this, or thank God that my people are asking me to see reason for us to establish it for them to have closure of their lives. Blah, 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 blah. Sounds into you, oh yeah, they make us. But look at the kind of thing. Look at the kind of thing. You have somebody. And this is what I keep saying. Yes, I've been saying that over a year. But all of these things, I don't blame the people that put you in a bubble. I blame the so-called education. Oh, okay. Samson told LeBron Pablo, what's your name? Where you're calling from? What's on your mind? I'll come back to my point. Go ahead, my brother, sister, brother.
This is Thomas F. Shapolo from Pennsylvania.
Thank you very much. What's on your mind, sir? We appreciate it.
What on my mind is what's going on in Liberia. Every Liberian in the diaspora in the United States, in Europe, and other parts of the world are concerned because that's the only country we come from. No matter where you come, besides going to heaven, that's the only way we forget about our country. But as long as you live on the planet, Liberia is your home. Whether you came from the small or whether you came over there 20, 30 years, you still got Liberia heart. But actually, what is unfolding in Liberia is not really good for our nation. As all other nations besides Liberia fighting to get something for themselves besides for us, we take it and carry somewhere else and leave it there. And to make it worse, the president we got, and even worse than other people. Because yes, a man I go to the central bank and take 2-3 million from Ghana and leave it in the Ghanaian economy.
My brother, I hate to interrupt. This is an intellectual platform where, and you have the right. I'm going to let you finish your statement, please. I'm not trying to frighten you or anything, but I just want to make this point. When we come out here to make these kinds of conversation with other Liberians who you then, just like you, are sophisticated, you have to come out and make some statement that perhaps we can all gravitate to. You have the right to say whatever you want to say, but to come out here now to say this, here is the man that goes to the bank, and we have no evidence of that. So, but go ahead and make a statement.
Okay. We got evidence, right?
I don't. So I'm just expressing myself. Go ahead.
The evidence is how often the Ghanaian president comes to Liberia in the school. But our president always in Ghana. Doesn't go there free. He go in Ghana and carry money.
Okay.
I haven't seen the Ghanaian president come to Liberia. He has never.
Okay.
Except where if there was an ECOWAS summit and he's going there for purpose. But you see a president in Ghana every day. When he's going $100, $200 in carry, he's taking it from the central bank, not taking it from the pocket. And I drop money in carry.
Okay.
So nobody can tell me so we don't have evidence. We do have evidence.
Okay.
And we do.
Okay.
So even if it was $1 that he took, I mean that's money he's taking from the economy. That's a high evidence.
Yeah.
So we don't have to go say we saw the check that he wrote in one Ghana in always there. But how often other foreign leaders come to us?
Fair point. Fair point. Okay. All right, my brother. I mean, I agree. I agree with you. You know, every travel, the money, where the money coming from, and things that. But my point is that when we're going to make these kinds of claims on an international platform with people that we expect to be somehow way above the phrase, then I think sometimes when you're making these kinds of assumptions, I will advise instead of holding it as a concrete evidence. There are certain language that you can use along with your accusation that will perhaps allow the intellectual among us to say, okay, he's saying something. Like you can say allegedly, or you can say, you know, to where people are saying, you can blame other people, but for you to say that, you know, because he go to equate going to Ghana to that or taking money from the bank, then you know, for me, I just don't see it. I just don't see it. But that's your view. That's your view.
My intellectual question to you is, if you go to Ghana or whatever you go, Guinea, where the money comes from?
But let me ask you this: before he became president, was he not going to Ghana?
Come again?
Before he became president, how was he traveling when he used to play football? How was he traveling from?
Listen, we never have time for that. Why don't you?
Now, one thing I love about y'all, bro. Now, one of the best things I love about y'all don't have no shame face. It come out clean. You got me on that one.
As long as you have to do the people's job, this is what we hire you to do.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Now you are answerable to us. It's all right to ask you what you do, where you go,
where you come from, what time you went in the bathroom, who are you?
I mean, I say
Yeah, I agree.
Nobody has time for him. Like the US there. But I'm not doing his business.
Thank you, my brother. You just make my day for the rest. I mean, I've been out here yelling and screaming, but you just made my day. Made me feel we're back to Liberia again. Thank you, my brother. I appreciate it.
Okay.
Yeah, all that he said, Mr. Two, all that argument, I don't care if we hide it, man. So we keep our eyes on it. Where you going? Where you come from? How you got Mr. President? Is it why you took this job? Did you know that you were being president? People are gonna question you when the last time you went in the bathroom. How did you go in the I love it, folks. But this is Liberian. That's what we are. We don't bite. We don't eat crab with sheen. We tell you exactly what's on our mind, intellectual or no intellectual. I don't care for that. My own intellectual question I have to ask you: how did the president go to Ghana? Where you get money from? So, but on a very serious note, now you just heard this young man. That's the reasoning. And there are many Liberians that will reason like that. Let's take that into the war crime and economic court system. Are we prepared to accept results that perhaps might not be in our interest or might not be in however way we set things up in our mind? This is Samson Told LeBron Public Radio. Samson Told LeBron Public Radio, what's on your mind? What's your name and where you're calling from?
It is Dina D. Boy. Calling from Colorado.
Oh, thank you for calling. What's on your mind, sir?
I'm just listening to the show, and I really admire how you're working with your quarters, because what my quarters say really make a lot of sense. For every time Joe go to Ghana, he spends thousands of dollars. He's spending more money out of the country than he can spend in the country itself, and I don't think I would appreciate that.
Yeah,
but the main point is that looking at Jovia's level of education and looking at his surroundings, and the speech that he did deliver today, honestly, it wasn't too bad. To be honest, I see how people criticize his speech. I mean, Jovia is not the guy that we expect, that we look at some other kind of way up there, who very articulate, who is very analytical. He's not up there like that. So his surroundings read this speech to him, and those guys are then more educated than him. It's almost like someone with 2-3 degree ready to speak for a 6th grader. Why answer the question? So I don't believe that he rehearsed the speech. It sounds very attractive. He didn't do like what some real well-rounded leaders would do to do his own editing. He just go by what it said. The speech has some things that I really wanted to hear, like the war crime. So I don't know if he's actually it's something that he intentionally trying to work on, or he just did it because of the UN, because of the UN or whatever they had for it. But if that's what he really meant, that he was in bad at all. When he said you're under pressure from other countries. Under pressure from other countries, that makes a lot of sense to me. It's not that bad. And under pressure from the Liberian people too. Because under pressure from other countries, it could signify that other leaders or other investors or other who be entrepreneurs are looking at Liberia as a business investment. Maybe they could come up there. But then looking at the war that just went on recently, and the present government, he preached on implementing the war plan, and he's not doing it. So maybe some of his colleagues around the world were looking at him. So maybe you're under pressure for that. And then looking at Liberian too. So here in America and from back home. So I think the pressure is mounting. And some of us, we want this to set as a prerequisite for the future, so that who be invaders, to look at the role that Jawia play or the war camps that might be implemented to decide future intention of those who killed us. Because what happened really was very detrimental.
Okay.
So hopefully, if he lays according to the speech he made today, if he start making that progress, to signify that he's being authentic on his platform. But another thing I really didn't appreciate was that you said that the economic dialogue has been, he has started to implement the economic dialogue they have recently. And I don't think that was wise enough. But again, I can't blame Judge Weir, because I don't expect him to be like a well-rounded leader. But he's okay, he's doing okay for now. But then the economic thing that they have recently, where they have two speaking, they have they have the dude from the central bank, Natanya. I didn't appreciate that. I don't think someone working at the center of the Nathaniel, who could not even abide by the simple rules at the central bank during the mop-up process. Should be someone to have the audacity to speak about dialogues, about kind of ideas. And you cannot withhold basic principles at the central bank. Why should I listen to you when it comes to kind of real ideas? Because you should be able to add 1 plus 1 to do 10 plus 10. You cannot withhold that. And even 2 at 12 up there speaking. These guys, what the guy that was speaking at the national dialogue, I don't think they were sophisticated enough because they are not doing well in their area. They are using what they have. If it were lack of resources that they're not doing well, that's different. But they're not doing well due to that corrupt practices. Then we should go back to the same guys and ask them, what can we do to better the economy? Does that make sense? Mr.
Thank you, my brother. As you were speaking, thank you very much. I appreciate it, my brother. Don't go too far. Just stay and listen to us here too as well. Thank you. As this young man was speaking, I started feeling real bad. Then the question, and there was the comment that I was going to make, and when he called, first of all, he said he can't blame we are because he have calling to him. His level of education is not that great, and so those who consider themselves educated would want to take advantage of him. That's my reading from what he stated. And if that's true, then that's very sad. Because one of the reasons of educating yourself is to help to those who are not educated or in your area of study to do things to further the human capacity. But for you to sit there and say because you know A, B, C, D, and this person doesn't know that, then you're just going to go throw anything at him that perhaps might not be favorable to him, then you're being intellectually dishonest. But then your siblings say, "Still, look at them. Look how many, they just go and take money here and there as people, man, arguing." But that doesn't mean, even if you're the most raw in Liberia, but the fact that you have spent time in the intellectual forum, intellectual realm, and have gained some experience in education, you should be able to utilize that effectively to help, not to take advantage of anybody. Because then while we don't know that, we have no power to enforce, but then you're being intellectually dishonest. And that's all it is. But once again, I also will argue this. For Dr. Weir to be in a bubble, this is not something that was done overnight. I have a pamphlet here. Back in 2005, Samuel Twett wrote something about Dr. Formula, and the writing was not favorable to Dr. Formula. And Dr. Formula came back and called Samuel Twett some real bad names. And one of the things he said, that Samuel Twett has no knowledge of the true history of Liberia. Samuel Twett claiming to be at the forefront of revolutionary activities, when he, Samuel Twett, have no clue what, according to Dr. Formula. However, he said, people like Samuel Twett will hang on to the football boots of a football player, and as a result, carry the football boots on the football field, despite his inability to perform on that field. But because he carried his boots, thereby allowing him in the stadium. And this is what we are. So for people to come and write something that perhaps it's not even genuine, then it's deceiving. That I call intellectual dishonesty. Okay, folks, I've been out here for quite a while now, so give me a call, and I will take 1 or 2 more calls, and I will be out of here. But before we do that here, this is what we do here on Liberian Public Radio. Earlier today, there's a gentleman that wrote something that I really didn't like, and I'm not going to go back on that anymore. I'll just let it go. But if we come, this for me, I consider this an intellectual forum, because I come out here, I'm not going to cause anybody. Because I'm not too far away from my kids right now. If I use any kind of bad language, they will yay. I'm disrespecting my children. I'm gonna be disrespecting myself as well. So for this reason, I'm not even gonna use that. But these things we do, these videos, they stay years from now. People gonna watch it. Is that something to making that kind of statement? I just told you. When we were living on Camp Johnson Road, the young man, they say he got grandchildren now. And the woman, she said she got grandkids now as well. But they were just watching my video. He said, I know that man. You think if I were cussing, that woman was gonna say, I know? No, she would say, I want to be part of it. Even though she know me, but she said, no, I want to be part of it. I don't want to associate myself with somebody who try to embarrass themselves like that. So this platform, folks, when you come here and want to make point, we expect you to challenge yourself a little bit. Okay? But that doesn't mean you can't come here and make any point. Any point you want to make, that's okay, as long you're respectful to the process. As long you're addressing Dr. Weir, that you be respectful on my platform, because he's our president. He was elected. I don't have to agree with him. But the process that brought him to power is that process that I cannot challenge, especially now that the process is over. I must accept my brothers and sisters' decision to elect Dr. Weir and his people. I don't agree with some of the things they do. Far from it. Far from it. But I cannot come out here and try to use words to describe Dr. Weir and his people as though they're not part of me. And those same words, I don't want people using it on me. So why would I want to use it on somebody else? This is the Liberian Public. Okay, one more call. Samson told Liberian Public Radio, what's your name, where you're calling from, what's on your mind?
My name is Reggie Thompson. I'm calling from Arizona, Phoenix.
Oh, you're not too far from me. Go ahead. What's on your mind, sir?
Where you are?
California, Sacramento to be.
California. Okay, we're not too far.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
but go ahead.
Yeah, I was listening to your show and I listened to your commentary as well as the guy that was on the show earlier. And yeah, I think you got to make a point there that the president has been around for some time. This thing started since 2005, right?
Right.
Yeah, so he's been around. So, and that's the problem some of us got with him. He should have articulated himself much better, how to represent the Liberian people since the day he made himself available for leadership. I probably he did not understand what it takes to lead. I don't know, but I think he's making a lot of mistakes. It's not late for him. He still got 4 years and some months on his hands to make things right. He was elected with a very, very popular mandate.
Yes.
A very strong mandate. I still remember the day when a lot of people were entering the stadium and it was jam-packed.
By the way, I was at the stadium. I was at the stadium live that
Correct.
day. Yes, go ahead.
Correct. Yeah, and you could feel the enthusiasm.
Right.
Some people were crying, and the reason
I was one of those.
Yes. It was not because Mr. Weir was elected precisely. I think it was because they felt somebody of their own has been elected that could understand their plight and get work done. So the issue of our presidency covers a lot of things here. We have had almost 200 years of a particular group of class been leading Liberia, and we did not see anything good. We still going through the problems we had in Ellen Johnson Sirleaf orchestrated the Civil War. I don't want to go back to that history for some people, but I believe strongly she's one of those who orchestrated the Civil War and led the plunged Liberia into madness. And I'm not saying that Samuel Doe coming to power was a better thing, because that was a different story. He also created a problem a lot.
Right.
But having said that, it was not enough for us to, put hands together to destroy our own country. Now, you've been elected on such a platform trying to fix stuff, and you're just missing the whole thing. It's so disheartening. And I don't know, people around him, like the Samuel Toy you mentioned, I don't know what they are doing.
They need to understand that the major problem of Liberia, we are in crisis. And we need crisis solution to get back on track. We've been in crisis since 1980. We got to get it back on track. And the way we can do that is to look at what's important, what is the priority right now. A lot of other guys may disagree, but I think that there are key priorities to get back the family structure. And the way you do it, because when the home is taken care of by the parents, a lot of things goes in play. And the way you start with the parents in the home is to find jobs for people. You got to work on that. I understand rural is a major issue. We all know rules are issues. But I spent 4 months in the country last year. And it's not that the country is not accessible. The country is still largely accessible. Some of the roads are not good, yes, but we can manage. Okay, but let's think about how cash can get in the pockets of the needed people. Let's provide jobs. Let's tell the Liberian people, look, if there's work in there's dignity in work. Sorry, there's dignity in work. When you are willing to work, we will provide jobs for you, and you will feed your family, and then you have a life to live. You have a future. I tell you, my brother, right now in Liberia, at the age of 45, the young men don't even know where to start. They're confused, except that they're only looking at politics right now. Everybody want to become a politician simply because that's what has been spoken by the leadership and other guys that are in power.
Okay.
But there are other things we can do. We can encourage entrepreneurship. We can look to see how we can provide jobs. Like I said, the problem is a crisis problem and it needs crisis solution.
All right.
The government needs to strongly move in strategic areas to create a lot of jobs. Then the revenue generated from that will be generated from that job in terms of taxes or whatever, we can use that to improve the other sectors like education and the roads and housing.
Yeah. Okay, my brother.
As well.
Okay. As you know, we're just having a conversation here. I'm sure most of you guys have good ideas. The issue then is who do you go to express your idea? But I think by us having these kinds of conversation, they're very helpful. I hope people would listen and try to pick on some of these suggestions that is being made.
He listens. I understand he listens. I attended the conference he called for the Liberians in the diaspora, and yeah, he said he listens. He listens to what we say on social media. But let me just say this point: the speech he gave would have been a better speech if he was actually doing what he's supposed to do. But a lot of things he said is not going in line with what's actually happening on the ground.
Right. Okay, my brother. Thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you for your view. Again, folks, Sam Sinto, LeBron Public Radio. I want to thank all of you again for calling and making your point. It's good that we have these kinds of intellectual forum where people will come in and make their point without routing people up. Let me make this one point here before I can close this up, and that is, Dr. Weir, I truly believe Dr. Weir is in a bubble. But how did he get in that bubble? You heard 2 callers ago, there was a gentleman that was on here and said that he was not educated, or his level of education is not that great. I understand that. But here's what I believe happened. Since 2005 or whatever that he tried to, the man no book. The book people who's supposed to be helping him to show him, they all say, hey, I'm in trouble. Then when the man become president, and the man want to be president, let him go be president now. So those who have nothing to offer the country except for themselves, they say, yes, come to Papa. We can help you. I will help you with your interest. They're all seeking their own interest, though. So when they grab Dr. Weir, put in the bubble, you heard the lady that came out earlier said when he had a meeting today or yesterday, I don't know what time it was, but that he was clear that his expression was very genuine. Most likely what happened, they didn't know he was going to get loose. And he got loose. And so when he found out, I'm not in the bubble right now, let me just speak my mind. But how many times will he do that? Because eventually those same people say, oh, no, Mr. President, we're not going to have that. We're here to handle you. We're not going to have you going out there and be speaking on your mind. I'm being funny right now, but most likely these are things that happen. Okay? So let me just do this one more time, and I'll call it quit here this evening. It's been a wonderful, wonderful evening. We'll just stay with us. Samson to LIBERIA Public.
Don't disrespect me because I get on papa. You will not disrespect because you see me in papa. Don't disrespect me because I get on papa. You will not disrespect because I will on donga. We not build but we can make it happen. We not millionaire, but we can keep it popping.
Okay, folks, Samson to LIBERIA Public. I want to thank all of you again. I've been calling in, listening, and watching. We say thank you very much. You make us feel good most of the time, all of the time. And we want to say thank you very much because by you watching, you encourage us to do what we do here on LIBERIA Public Radio. Well, our ideas, what comes out of our mouth, is not something that you should take to the bank. Not all the time. We expect you to challenge us because if we're going to put ourselves on an intellectual forum, we do not expect you to take whatever comes out of our mouth to be that's all. No. We expect you to challenge it. And we expect you to disagree with us. By doing so, you're also pointing out to us our faults, pointing out to us what we thought was supposed to be truth, what we thought was supposed to be the correct statement. And by you challenging and pointing out, we're also learning from you. So this is why we call it intellectual forum, because we all come out here to learn from one another. And that's why we will not allow people to come here and disrespect each other. Because by doing so, we put ourselves at a point where we no longer offer any solution or whatsoever. But on an intellectual forum like this, I'm not too sure if the president listened to that, but that's not the point. You come out here and make your point. And expect your point to be challenged as well. Because if you're going to challenge Samson too, you must also be expected to be challenged as well. Because that's what we do here. And again, I want to thank all of you. I continue to tune into LIBERIA Public Radio because we're here to discuss and have issues, whatever it is that is facing you. One last thing before we go. Stay safe. Don't drink and drive. Don't text and drive. Those two things don't mix. Some of you came in, and I'm always saying that. Just think about your own life. Most of you came in this country with less than $300-400 in your pocket. But look at your car you're driving. Look at where you're living. Look what you're doing now. You came here, you didn't sit down. Some of you came here was sleeping in people's basements. Some of you came here, didn't even have a good place to stay. But you decided the only way I'm going to move up is to challenge myself, to educate myself, to put myself in a position where God will be able to bless me, but at the same time, let me utilize my brain. And by doing that at a very young age, at a very early age, or at a very early time when you got here, you sacrifice. You sacrifice because you could have been out there night clubbing. You could have been out there doing whatever it is, playing football like I used to do when I first got here, forget school. I was playing football, but you didn't do that. You refused. You decided I'm going to educate myself. And here you are. You're young, but with the education. You're young, but you're making the money. You're young, and God is blessing you. So please don't throw that away. Don't drink and drive. You want to get drunk on a Friday afternoon? Get yourself the pack of beer, whatever it is that you drink. Go in your house and start drinking. Then you turn on LIBERIA Public Radio and look at Samson too. Then you start arguing with Samson because you're drunk already. However, That process also need to be guided, because you cannot put your hand on your children, on your partner, whatever. You cannot do that, because if you do, you're asking for serious problem as well. Okay? So all of those things make up wellness of the family. All of these things, the little son you have, the little daughter you have, give them the respect. Respect them. Let them express themselves, but make them to understand. In the process of expressing yourself, know who you're expressing your feeling to. This is your father. This is your mom. There are certain languages that you cannot use when you're expressing yourself to me. Make those points to your kids, because what you're doing, you're bringing them up to respect the law, but at the same time, to be mindful of themselves. At the same time, to be truthful to themselves. Trust in God. I'm not saying you. I trust in God. You don't have to. I trust in God, and I believe God will continue to deliver. Folks, this is Samson Toe. I want to thank all of you again tonight. It's a wonderful, wonderful show. Friday, I will try, like I said, I'm going to try to dissect the speech, and I'm going to be rough on the president and those who wrote that speech, because I will make in chronological order, 1, 2, 3, and then I will make my point as well. And I will expect you guys to join me on this intellectual forum. Please go and read the speech or listen to the speech so that you can come and attack it. And if I make a point that you don't agree with me, please don't hesitate to put it down. Challenge me, disagree with me, but do it with respect. Don't insult me. You can if you want to insult me, but here's the thing about the insulting before I close this here. Think about it. You and I talking right now. I'm in a very good mood, but in order for me to get in the mood to insult, I have to elevate my inner self that will accept the words that are going to come out of my mouth to be easy, insulting words. Yes, the other thing, after that period is over, I'm not going to have to bring myself, because I can't be insulting and going in there and talking to my kids. No, I now have to bring myself to the level that will be normal so I can have a conversation with my kids. So the yo-yo going up and down, it causes serious health issue as well. And that's why you like to stay up on a cruising attitude. Samson told, I'm from Public Radio, folks. I like it when I do that. I want to say good night to all of you. It's been a wonderful, wonderful, Mr. President, welcome to America. And we thank you very much for even representing us. And we're very proud of you. We don't agree with some of the things that were stated, but yes, still we're very proud of you, because you are our president. You were elected by our brothers and sisters, and we respect you, and we'll continue to respect you. All right, but that doesn't mean we will agree with you. So please also have in mind that we have the right, and we must be allowed to disagree with you. But we should make sure, folks, that we do that with respect. We should do that. We should criticize with responsibility, because criticism comes with responsibility. Samson Toe. Good night, folks.
Kadama TV, enana, manyoka kora kanama. Kadama TV, enana, sono tere kanama. Pare bebiri kuna, inana, pare magi kanama. Baye jibo basogo, zagati ko pare manyo basogo. Basogo, Zakati go, but I'm on your basogo. Tumonwana, but I do more dancing on Tumonwana, but I want you to Monwa, my yay boba. boru suku ona verio Angane mbei duro tape makuria Boba ya seba Onana ayama lokolo mwane sikolo mwa yepoza ne kriku ya moreu Lokolo torie boru suku Suku ogere yo omo ya